Hello YouTube, this is the Bucket coming at you today with my Why No Glocks video. On May 28, 2024, I posted my first video about my CMP 1911. And since then, I've posted many videos and have never posted a video about a Glock, which has caused some of my viewers to ask, why don't you do videos about Glocks? Do you hate Glocks? Are Glocks bad? And so I thought today would be a good day to delve into the topic of Glocks. And shortly, I'm going to be doing a video on this Gen 3 Glock 23, the 40 Smith & Wesson caliber, and what my feelings are about this particular gun. First, I'd like to say that I think Glocks are great. I know they're reliable firearms. I know that there are tons of people that own Glocks, and they've made good decisions about the Glocks that they have made. Actually, an anecdote is my good buddy, I call him the Bobcat. When he was picking out his first firearm, he said he was thinking about getting a Glock 43X, and I told him he was getting a great and dependable firearm, and as long as he's taken it to the range and made sure that he shoots it good, that he was buying an awesome firearm. What I'm about to say isn't to discourage anyone who has a Glock or is thinking about getting a Glock. I'm not saying that you're dumb. I'm not saying that you made a bad decision. Glocks are great for a great many reasons. I've just been asked to address my opinions about Glocks, and so what I'm about to say about Glocks are just simply my opinions about the firearms and aren't to say anything bad about anybody. First, Glocks just don't interest me. When I hold them in my hand, I don't get excited, and they're not cool feeling, and again, they just don't feel great the way I hold them. I carry this VP9SK, and every time I look at it, every time I pick it up, I want to go to the range and I want to shoot this firearm. Because of those things, it's caused me to spend thousands of rounds at the range, getting better about the trade of carrying a firearm and firing my particular firearm. And because of the way that it feels, and because of the way that it looks and the way it makes me feel, it's caused me to become a much better shooter. The ergonomics of this are just blah. They don't feel bad in my hand, but it feels like my hand has to contour to the blocky lines of this grip, where guns like the VP9SK, the VP9, the Walther PDP, and countless other great manufactured firearms, they feel like they're melted into my hand and the contours of my human hand. And when I hold this Glock, it's kind of like I'm holding my sister's hand. It's not that you can't hold your sister's hand, it just doesn't feel great while you do it. Third, there's a great many features about these firearms that I don't think are good. I think they're antiquated. And I'm just going to talk about some of the features about a Glock that I don't like. And it doesn't mean they're awful, and it doesn't mean you can't train yourself around these features. They're just not ideal. First is the takedown system. It kind of is a pain to do. It doesn't feel great in my hand. And I feel like different manufacturers use better systems for takedown. I just think it's something that Glock could be updating or could be making a little bit better. It's just they haven't decided to do so. Second is the trigger. The trigger isn't awful, and it's not that you can't shoot this trigger and get the bullets to go where you want to. There's slop, there's creep, the reset's not ideal. The contour of the trigger itself could be better. It could be a flat face trigger, but for whatever reason, they've decided that they don't want to upgrade that. The grip angle is not ideal for the way that my eyes naturally point. When I come and I present my firearm with a Glock, my front sight's pretty high. I have to train myself to dip that front sight down. Again, did you hear me say that you can't shoot a Glock well? No, it just means that when I hold and I grip and I go with my VP9SK, it's naturally in line, and I find myself naturally being at a point of aim a lot quicker with my VP9SK than I do with a Glock. The grip texture is kind of slick. It's not super grippy. Again, I know you can get grip tape, and I know you can do some of those things. Many people will say all of these things can be upgraded, and you can upgrade all of these different things and get the Glock to be just the way that you want to. But I'm a teacher, I'm a coach, and I'm a father of 4 beautiful children. My wife gives me enough chores to do. I don't need my gun to give me more chores to do. I don't need those things being put into my life. For me, what makes things great for the Bucket is I go to the store and I buy the thing that I want, and I want it to have the features that I want it to have, and I want it right out of that box. Not to mention the fact the ad campaign for Glock of Glock perfection is kind of infuriating when immediately the next thing that they always say is, once you fix all the things that we didn't do right out of the factory. Again, there are a lot of people that love to tinker and love to upgrade and want things just a very, very specific way that are perfect just for their needs. And for them, this is a great base thing that then they can have a lot of fun upgrading and getting it to be just the way they want it to be. But for the bucket, that's not what I want. And when people come to me and say, hey, the bucket, I know you like firearms, tell me what I should do, I tell them, well, let's try out lots of different things and let's find out what fits the most of your needs immediately. And some people tell me, but I can upgrade this and I can upgrade that. And I tell them that, hey, a Glock is an awesome option. But for those of you that kind of want to get a really good firearm right out of the box without having to do a lot of extra things for it, I think there are other manufacturers out there that maybe have a more complete product right when you get it out of the box. And if you're one of those people, maybe those are interesting. For me, Glocks just don't interest me. And I don't really enjoy talking about Glocks or making videos about Glocks because that's just not what I particularly like to do. And you're lucky because there's tons of people out on YouTube and other social media places that are more than happy to talk about Glocks ad nauseum. And you have all the opportunities you want to find all the content about Glocks, even though I'm not going to spend a whole bunch of time talking about them. Once again, I hope I didn't offend anybody. That wasn't my desire. I really think that anybody that loves Glocks or owns a Glock or thinks their Glock is the best firearm in the world, I think they've made great decisions and I think they have a lot of good things to say. Just for me and my YouTube channel, I'm probably not going to spend a lot of time talking about Glocks. I find other firearms are just more interesting. I like historical firearms and I like finding different things that maybe people haven't thought about. One of the best purchases I've made recently was this Tanfolio GT27. Yeah, it's not the best firearm in the world, but it's got a cool history to tell, and I love finding this and finding gems like this and bringing them to the channel. If you want to find out a lot about Glocks, there are a lot of other YouTubers out there that'll tell you everything you want to know about Glocks. I'll just bring different content to the channel, and I hope you enjoy it. I do want to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. All the likes, the comments, and shares are really appreciated. And as always, you stay classy, YouTube.
I learned a lesson. Never half-ass two things. Whole-ass one thing.